Yo, 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 what's going on out there, you guys? It's your favorite hustler, Wade Jackson, shooting a quick video for you guys. So today is part 3 of the W4 training. We about to go ahead and get started, man. We ain't gonna play no games with this one for y'all. So if you got your 2009 one printed out, make sure you get a pen. But right here, number one, that's self-explanatory. Enter your first name. John, you know what I'm saying? Middle name, E, last name over here, Doe. Enter your social security number. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, enter your home address. Number 3, put if you're single or married, filing separate. Enter your city, town, and zip code. Okay. This number 5, this is where your allowances will be. But you can go ahead and put your signature right here. But let's scroll down to let me show you what I'm talking about with your allowances. Okay, what those are is more instructions. You'll need them. Okay, right here. A personal allowance worksheet. Just answer it according to you. Enter 1 for yourself. Boom. Okay. This one, enter 1 if you're filing married, filing jointly. I'm enter 1 because I'm filing married, but if you're not, you just enter in a 0. Okay, next one. Boom, enter 1 if you're filing head of household. Now, before you do that, I want you to scroll back up to the instructions. I'm doing it for you. You have to find out what is head of household. Line C. Generally, you may claim head of household filing status on your tax return only if you're unmarried or pay more than 50% of the cost of keeping up a home for yourself and qualifying individuals. See publication 501 for more information. Okay, so I cannot mark 1 for head of household because I am married. It said if you're married, you cannot enter that. So I would enter a 0 right there, but for you, it may be different. Okay. D. Enter 1 if you're single or married, filing separately and have only one job. So if you're the only one working and you're single or filing married and separate, enter 1. Enter 1 if you're married, filing jointly and have only one job and your spouse doesn't work. So if you just work, your spouse doesn't work, enter a 1. And then if not, enter a 0. And then the last one is your wages from your second job or your spouse's wages or the total of both are 15,000 or less. Okay. So if any of that applies to you, enter 1. Then the next one is I'm gonna enter a 0 right there. Then the next one is child tax credit. Let's scroll up to the top real quick just so you know if you don't know what that is. See line E, child tax credit. When you're filing your tax return, you may be eligible to claim a child tax credit for each of your eligible children to qualify. A child must be under the age of 17 as of December 31st. must be must be your dependent who lives with you for more than half a year and must have a valid social security number. To learn more about this credit, see publication 972 child tax credit. To reduce the tax withheld from your pay by taking this credit to account. Following the instructions on line E of this worksheet, on the worksheet, you will be asked about your total income for the purposes. Total income includes all your wages and other income, including earned by a spouse if you're filing a joint return. So that told us what a child tax credit is. Let's see what it says. 8. if your total income will be less than 71,000, this for the year, 71,201, 103,351 if married filing jointly. Enter 4 for each child. So if you're not going to make 72,000 for the year or 103,000 for the year, enter 4 for each child you have. It also says if your total income will be 71,000 to 179,000, or 103,000 to 345,000 if married filing jointly, enter 2 for each child. So if you make less for the year, you enter 4 for each child. If you make more for the year, you enter 2 for each child. It says if your total income is higher than 200,000 or 400,000 if married filing jointly, then enter 0. So mine was less than 71 and 103,000, so I enter 8 because I have 2 children. So you enter that according to you. It says tax credit for other dependents. If you scroll back up here once again, look, line F right here, credit for other dependents, it tells you what it is. When you file your tax return, you may be eligible to claim a credit for dependents to whom a child tax credit cannot be claimed, such as a qualifying child who doesn't meet the age or social security number requirements for the child tax credit, or qualifying relative. So this is if you have to take care of a grandma or a mom or dad, you can enter in a dependent tax credit for them. So it says, if your income is less than 71,000 again, or 103 filing jointly, enter 1 for each dependent. If your total income will be 71 to 79,000 or 103 to 345,000 married, enter 1 for every 2 dependents. For example, 0 for 1 dependent, 1 if you have 2 to 3 dependents, and 2 if you have 4 dependents. So that's how that went. Okay. If your total income will be higher than 179,000 or 345,000 if married filing jointly, enter 0. Other credits. If you have other credits, see worksheet 1 through 6, publication 505, and enter the amount from the worksheet here. If you use worksheet 1 through 6, enter 0 on lines E through F. So you don't have to mess with those. Okay, so you don't answer those. Line H says enter A through G. So you look at your A and you look at your G and you enter in those numbers, 8, 9, 10. So mine's 10. I don't know what yours is, but you enter that number right there. Boom. Okay. From there, right there on your front paper, right there, number 5, you enter in that number. You enter in that number right there. That's what you would enter. 10. If all you do is work and that's it. Okay. For you ones that own a business, this is the beauty. This is how you can receive a lot more money back on your paycheck. If you own a business, then you go down to the deductions and adjustments. You get what I'm saying right here. Okay, here's where the beautiness comes in right here. Okay. Number 1 says, well, first let's read the notes. Use this worksheet only if you plan to itemize deductions, claim certain adjustments to income, or have a large amount of non-wage incomes. Non-wage incomes is like dividends, investments, things of that nature. You guys probably watching this video are not there yet. But number one says enter an estimate of your 2019 itemized deductions. This includes the qualifying home mortgage entrance, interest, charitable contributions, state, local tax, medical expenses. Okay, standard deduction for everybody is right here. Right here. If you're married filing jointly, it'd be 24,400. If you're head of household, it'd be 18. And if you're single or married filing separately, it's 12. Well, I'm married. Mine is 24,400, but whatever that number is, I want you to enter 6,000 to that, so my total would be 30,000 right there. Okay, so that'd be my number. Okay, number two, then you enter in your standard number right there. Mine would be 24,400. And then what you do is you subtract those, and you'll have the number I told you to add to number one, which is 6,000. Okay, then on number four, it says enter your adjustment to income, you know, the income deductions and any additional standard deductions. Okay, so on your tax form, on your 1040, on lines 23 through 36, you enter in that number, but mine was low, so you can enter the standard that the U.S. government gives every small business, which is 4,050. So you enter that. Okay, on line 5 it says add line 3 and 4. I got 10,050. I don't, yours will be different, or it might be the same depending if you got what I got, but that's what your number should be. Line 6 says enter an estimate of your non-wages. Like I said, those are dividends. Those are dividends, investments, stocks. You know, I have none. I entered 0 right there. Number 7 is divide the amount on line 7 by 4,200 and enter the results. If a negative amount, then enter the number in parentheses. Now I don't know how they got 4,200, but I'm sorry. Line 7 subtract 6, line 6 from line 5. So yours would still be the same because you would have 0, my bad. And then line 8 is when you divide your number by 4,200, and I have you'll have like 2 point, you know, some, you know, if it's a point, you just do the number in front of the decimal. Mine was 2. Okay. I'm trying to hurry up and rush through this because I don't have much time. Number 9 says enter the number for your personal allowance from line H. My line H was 10. That was my number. And then on line 10, you just add the 2 for your final number, 12. And if you have 12, if you have your new number on line 10, that replaces your old number in the front if all you did was the 10. You know, instead of the 10 on my front page, since I have a business, instead of putting 10 on line 5 like I should have had 10 here, and then it goes to 12 now because my business deductions added 2 more points. So I hope that didn't confuse you too much. It might have. If so, go back through here. Or if so, just get more involved and I can give you in more deeper detail. Now what this paper is, you just start off with your last number, which was 12 for me, and you just fill the rest of this form out. This is if your spouse has a job or you have 2 jobs. You can also fill this out, and whatever number you have here, If you would like that withheld from your paycheck as well, then you enter that in number 6. So that's basically how that goes, man. This is part 3. This is how you fill out your paperwork. If you are not in business, you need to get in business, man. It's a great thing. If you don't know how to start or where to begin, message me, man, and I will get you where you need to go, man. This is your favorite hustler, Wade Jackson. It's been